you introduce
I'm
yourself
a
and a
yes.
little bit like when you got CRPS? Um, yeah.
I'm Alex. I was diagnosed with first reflex sympathetic dystrophy when I was 10 years old,
Okay.
which would have been in 1998.
Okay.
And I was incredibly lucky because my dad was able to kind of diagnose me before doctors were. Had a case involving a client who
Oh my
was hurt
gosh.
on the railroad and contracted reflex sympathetic dystrophy and was able to recognize the symptoms that I was having after a after a soccer injury, and realized that this wasn't normal. This wasn't a normal progression for a 10-year-old, that the doctors were telling me that it was all in my head, that this wasn't
Mhm.
real, that my family was causing these problems to me, that this was real stuff. I met with this guy. My dad had met with this guy, and we finally found a doctor that was willing to help me. And that's kind of how it started.
Wow. And so your dad pinpointed it. That is kind of crazy. He was a
My dad
doctor?
literally, no, my dad was an attorney, and
Oh, interesting.
it kind of caused ruffled some feathers because, first of all, it's hard enough when a patient goes in and tells a
The
doctor
doc.
what they think, what we have.
Right. We
But
bring our Google searches in.
exactly, when a parent who is has also the means to make potentially go after an attorney,
Yeah.
or as an attorney, or go
As
after
an
a
attorney.
doctor, it I think is a scary thing.
Definitely.
But my dad saved my life. My family
Wow.
saved my life.
Yeah. Um, that is super interesting. I'm sorry. So you were 10 years old when you were diagnosed with RSD, and have they switched your diagnosis to something else?
Yes.
Yeah.
I then had my second, I guess you would call it an outburst. I
Mhm.
had absolutely no symptoms of anything besides fibromyalgia from the age
Right.
of 10 to 16, um, and had multiple broken bones, um, different illnesses, pretty much went along as a normal kid.
Right.
You would have no idea that anything was an issue until I was 16 years old and running at soccer practice, and my leg cramped, and I would basically I could come up with a done it had a small tear in
Mhm.
a muscle, and immediately my leg gave out, and over the course of the next few weeks I was paralyzed from the waist down with
Yeah.
CRPS from the waist down.
Debilitating pain, all of it, turning
Absolutely.
colors, etc.
The only thing that was different was I didn't have allodynia,
Okay.
unlike the first time.
Yeah.
I didn't have as much of the shininess of the skin. I was having more of skin loss. My skin was
Mhm.
more of like shape, like shedding.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
the first time I had my onset, I was losing weight. Second time was gaining weight, but the medications were very different. So don't really know what's
Yeah.
happening. And you were also, I have some puberty going on. So,
Right.
um,
That's what
and
was interesting to me. 10 to 16, you were okay, and then 16.
exactly. And then again, from 16 to 20, I was fine. 21, I was fine.
Okay.
And then at 21, I had another onset of a problem.
Right. What helped you the first time you had you said it was a minor tear?
Yes,
Okay.
it was the first, I have this weird recollection of being almost like a mouse in a little,
In the house?
I,
Your mom's in the house?
yeah, or just
Okay.
like having doctors coming, like look at you,
Yeah.
tell you something's wrong, but they don't know what it is, and then like leaving.
Oh,
Um,
you've got like five doctors in the room, and it's like, what's going
Yeah,
on?
exactly. But basically, what ended up happening is I was 16 and put on an ketamine infusion in
Wow.
hospital while doing an epidural coddle treatment,
And that
while
was
withstanding.
early on in ketamine treatments.
Very, very,
Very.
very early on. This was in 2004.
So it had just been approved in America.
Yes,
Probably.
like I don't even know. I think this was all of an out-of-pocket payment, not approved by
Okay.
insurance.
Okay.
I don't know
And
how my parents
what was
even
the
found.
epidural caudal? What's the
Yes,
difference there?
caudal is going to be the location. So the epidural is caudals. I think it is either further up or further down.
I think
Can't.
it's further down. I
Yeah,
want to say.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so those actually the two they put in like wires that stayed in, and then they
Mhm.
had medication filtering in there for a few days.
Okay. And it's near the tail, which funny enough, like when they described CRPS to me, they were saying it's like your lower back is sending out the pain signals. So
Correct.
that's interesting.
Yeah. But what more so than anything, when I found out, because I never spoke to another person that had a diagnosis or anything until I was 18.
Okay.
I had never met another person until I was 18, and there was this child that had driven hundreds of thousands of miles
Okay.
um, just to come and get a treatment and get seen.
Yeah. It,
And that was the only time I'd ever met any other person.
oh, how did it feel to finally meet somebody that, could make sense of your perceived reality?
Um, I wish I would have had the chance to do it when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Um, Normalcy and understanding that it's okay to be you and okay to have an off day, okay to feel pain, okay to make modifications to your daily routine to still have a joyful life. I think I wouldn't have masked as much
Hmm.
of uh, who I really was as a person or what I was hiding. You're the first person out of my family or doctors that I've ever talked to besides that one CRPS patient,
Are you serious?
um, face to face ever.
Oh my gosh.
I have one person that I met on social media randomly that a doctor hooked me up with who
Wow.
was not doing well
Hmm.
about 6 months ago. And that that was mainly because of a procedure I had a few years ago that
Okay.
I'm hoping to start making a norm for some people.
Yeah. So, and that can be scary to meet somebody who's not doing well versus, and it can also be scary to see somebody who is doing well. It's like there's two sides of the
Right.
spectrum,
And
and
I think that's one of the hardest parts is there's so little known about this. I don't even know if I want to call it a disease, a disorder.
yeah.
It's an encompassment of so many things that every single person has different things and
Mhm.
different parts that create disability moments, as I like to call them.
Okay.
I, I don't think it is an overarching 100% uh, incurable, debilitating disease.
Hmm.
It debilitates so much of who we are as a person and creates problems for us living a daily life.
Yeah.
But I don't think it
With the right
is
patience and support, it's a
exactly.
disorder that can be treated and overcome. And
Well,
that's
and
actually
education.
an education. If you can understand what's happening, if you're not just seeing the doctors point at you and write down notes and walk out of the room, it's like if you really understand what's happening, I think that gives you a better seat at your show, you know? So you met someone about 6 months ago, and then when you were 18, those are the only two people with CRPS that you've met. Well, and then your dad with his client, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. But
Interesting.
at that point, he was unfortunately when I was diagnosed, they put people on so many narcotics
Right.
and so many
They would band-aid it.
medications that those aren't the people you would meet. It's the medications you would meet.
Okay.
Um, I have blips of my high school experience. I have had to leave my college years because of the amount of medications I was being put on by certain pain
Right.
doctors.
And I read about all of the amazing things that you do, all of your hobbies, right?
Yeah.
I'll read that list out later, but I would love to know what treatment that has been so effective for you. It sounds like you're very
I
it's
would,
a light you've shown it in.
uh, I think cognitive behavioral therapy is
Okay.
one of the most powerful things on the market
Okay.
because it's free.
Yeah.
You can do it anywhere,
Yep.
and you can have it with you when you most need it, and you can teach it to other people who can help you along the way as well.
Yeah.
Mayo Clinic has amazing free tools. I did a intensive program at Mayo Clinic.
Yeah.
Um, I have to bow down to them for getting me off of an inordinate amount of medications.
Wow.
And
And so
basically,
this is effective not just for CRPS, but for handling CRPS without the fog.
absolutely. And
Right.
they don't want you to not only, they want you to do it in a safe manner too, because they want to make sure, because unfortunately, so many of us are dealing with like 6, 7 doctors that don't talk to each other.
Right.
Somebody prescribes something, somebody wants you to try something, but St. John's wort will interact with this, but this person's not talking to this person. And all of a sudden, you're having a third symptom that's making you so that you're
Oh, you just hit the nail on the head. Yeah. Like you've got three different things going on, and
exactly.
you have to organize a quarterback and a full football team to deal with it.
Besides CBT, physical therapy is the most important thing that I learned.
Right, the two mixed together, it sounds like.
Yes,
That's what I'm picking up.
it is. This is. I've broken my leg in half.
Okay.
I remember having to get I remember being 9 years old before my 10th birthday and having to have my like having needles in my spine and things like that. I remember vivid things like that, but I
Yeah.
don't remember any pain like a CRPS pain ever. And all of us know that pain. You can't really materialize the words because there's a long stretch of words that go with it because there's like an electricity, a crawliness, an angry bite, a stab. There's just so many words that you could throw a thesaurus at the wall.
Yeah.
But you have to fight through it to get better. And the concept is maddening.
Yes.
But
it absolutely is. Yeah.
It's truly the only thing that has allowed me to live on my own, travel, keep a job, and succeed through
And
my life.
is the CBT you're talking about? I think it's funny that you said you could throw the source at the wall. I think you could throw it through the wall and still
No,
come close.
truly.
So
Truly.
CBT stands for cognitive behavioral therapy, a type of
Correct.
psychotherapy that helps individuals change unhelpful thinking patterns and behaviors. So we're kind of talking about negative feedback right there.
Correct.
It is
And
a
it
goal
also helps you breathe through.
Yeah.
Helps you breathe through. Breath work's a big point of it. It's notating when those thought patterns and those pain, I would say pain signals get touched and how to desensitize those.
Right. And not just desensitize, but truly process and appreciate the real sensation. I think desensitization can sometimes get confused for what doctors will commit to is a form of torture therapy, where like if you aren't crying and if you aren't experiencing that visceral pain, it isn't going right. And I think that can be very offsetting for some people because it makes them view treatment in a negative light.
Absolutely.
Where CBT is non-invasive and non-traumatic. It's actually, like you said, it helped you get off medications while treating your CRPS. So it's kind of fighting that trauma.
Yes.
That's amazing. When did you initially start your CBT?
I think there's been touches of it. I've been going to see therapists since I was 10, just because there is such a psychological aspect to CRPS and RSD. And most of those psychiatrists have chronic pain, centers, and they would have CBT training.
Okay.
But on my own practice would be truly when I was like about 17, 18.
All right. So when you were 17 or 18, is this you getting ready for college?
Yes.
This is okay. Were you able to go to college after doing some CBT?
I was able to go to college. However, my
Amazing.
choice of colleges did have to change
Zero, of
due to
course.
due to medical constraints.
I understand that. Where did you end up going?
I went to University of Colorado Boulder.
Did you? That's
Yeah,
where I grew up in Colorado. I don't know if you knew that.
that's where I went. That's where I grew up.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's totally wild.
yeah. I
Yeah,
was at all this happened at Children's Hospital.
Children's Hospital. So I had a
Yep.
terrible experience at Children's Hospital. I actually was diagnosed, and then when I refused medication due to severe cognitive decline, undiagnosed and barred basically. And
Well, I had a bad experience at one point with Children's
they've
too.
gotten much
So
better. Uh,
yeah.
since then, I think I forgot his name exactly, but their anesthesiologist was very good later on, and that helped patch things up for me at least. But
Was
um,
this when Glenn Merritt was there?
I don't know Glenn Merritt, but this was Slover, if you know
Oh no,
Slover.
that was
So it
after
was
me.
after Merritt,
Okay.
after the Merritt era. Um, that's so funny. So
That
I know
is.
exactly what that floor looks like.
Yep,
And Boulder is a good school.
it
They had like
is.
Deion Sanders as their head coach last year.
They did.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So when you were preparing for college, let's see, you were 17, 18, you had experienced a flare at like 16. That was pretty severe. You were even losing skin, you said. How did that go?
Going to college?
Yeah.
Uh, I stayed close because of the doctors and my family.
Okay.
I was honestly just grateful to get to college. I was out of school for 6 months in high school.
Mhm.
So they didn't want me to graduate. They didn't want me to finish school. It was a fight to have to stay in school and keep back.
It's crazy what a fight it is for so many of our kids to just be able to get their certificate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Walking across that stage was probably one of the most amazing memories. A family friend of ours actually made like a cartoon card for me just to commemorate me graduating high school. And I looked back at it the other day when I was at home and I was like,
Mhm.
this is insane that we had to commemorate a high school graduation that was supposed to happen like there's nothing
No big deal.
and no big deal. But yeah, I mean, actually, going to college transition went well because it was close. I did have side effects to my medications. I kicked a guy in my bio hall class so hard due to one of the side effects of my medication that he got so angry it interrupted a 300-person lecture hall.
Oh my God.
I was mortified.
This is like a movie, like
I
a
I
dramatic movie scene.
like I to be perfectly honest, my parents are gonna hate it, but I did not go to class for like the next week because I was so embarrassed.
Yeah.
Um, the brain fog was so bad in some medications that never failed. I never got anything besides like a B, and I failed,
Yeah.
almost failed out of college.
Oh wow.
I ended up having to take ADHD testing. It was the first time I had ever actually been diagnosed with ADHD because apparently I asked it for so long. But
And you have to wonder, is that ADHD or is that pain fog? You know, like,
exactly.
yeah.
So
And that's very, very difficult. Did you end up graduating college? Where are you at now?
So I have about 12 credits left that I need, but
Okay.
I was hospitalized 3 times within 6 months
Mm,
in 2020.
hmm.
And at that point, all my friends were getting jobs going into the market, and I did, unfortunately, what so many of us do, and looked at what everybody else was doing. And I just like, you know, I just want to do something. I just like want to be proud of myself for doing
Hmm.
something. But so I got a job and I worked for the US Soccer Foundation.
Okay, that's
which was really,
awesome.
it was amazing. And I wanted to get back into soccer because my life was soccer before I got hurt.
Yeah.
And I was going to play college soccer, but nobody would insure me with my
With your disability.
with my nerve disorder, my
Yeah.
disability. So I started working with a nonprofit for them, and it was amazing, but I was making no money. So I started
Mhm.
bartending on the side, and then I ended up being offered a job to work for Ritz Carlton, and I've been with Ritz Carlton and for 10 years, and I now work in their events department and help run their events.
Good for you.
And
I'm
we
sorry.
just,
What's Ritz
yeah,
Carl? What's Ritz
Ritz
Carlton?
Carlton, the hotel.
Okay, got it, got it.
So I work with Marriott, and I've traveled to other properties and helped train staff. And
Nice. It's a hospitality and like party planning. It sounds like
exactly, yeah,
very fun. And you've done that for 10 years. So you're like
yeah,
tenured and everything.
yeah.
Good job. Um, when you look at what the people around you are doing now, um, how does it feel?
Um, the hardest part for me is not knowing if it's genetic.
Right? Yeah.
Um, my friends are all having kids,
Yeah.
and that's my biggest fear.
Uh-huh.
I can't do this to my child.
No, I hear you.
Um,
It's something I've thought about a lot too.
yeah,
And to and it isn't anything against my mom. It's not anything against um, my grandpa who had severe neck a pinched nerve in his neck after World War II that
right,
caused him to drink himself to death, right? It's not either of their faults for continuing the lineage, but I do know that it would be uh, irresponsible of me to bring someone else into this world that I know I would love only to put them in pain.
exactly,
It's terrifying. It's really it's something that I don't think is talked about enough actually too.
exactly.
Yeah.
Um, and so that's, I guess, what brings me back to just I I wish so much that there something like this or something in general like there is for kids with chronic and terminal issues. Support, understanding, education, the the understanding that there needs to be a community, there needs to be advocates,
Yeah.
um, and not just for the patient, but for the families. Uh,
It's a family
because
stressor.
it is a family stressor and it's a family disease.
Yeah.
My sister ended up going into medicine because of living and growing up in hospitals.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
and
powerful.
it's it's I just don't want to see another child go through pain and miss out on being a ray of sunshine every day or being who they're meant to be because they're trying so hard to just be normal.
Of course. And so we're kind of talking about it already, but the advocacy piece and the um I'm sorry, the advocacy and um the understanding piece is very, very, I think, difficult for families to understand, right? Because I had to be fair, my mom is an incredible advocate for everybody because she herself grew up uh, in hospitals and dealt with her own set of issues, right? And so she understood, right? She picked it up with her stride. She said, okay, we're going to go to the doctors, right? Here we are
Right.
every day of the week, right?
Yeah. My parents are the
And
same. They're incredible.
it's so difficult to see families where dad doesn't believe in CRPS. Well,
Exactly.
that makes no sense, right? And the the people out here like Nazir Jones, who are advocate, like he was an ex NFL player who
Yes.
I think is such a for me myself, right? I played baseball, and to be able to look up to somebody is really powerful, especially when in my own family situation, my dad wasn't able to outlast the CRPS, right? He had to take a step out. Oops. Um, and so it's great to see those role models and see the community begin to develop.
Exactly. Because unfortunately, as I'm so sorry about your dad, but it happens,
Right.
and it happens a lot. It could be a dad. It could be, in my case, it's happened with partners.
Yeah.
Um, it it can happen with family members that you don't expect, like cousins, aunts. They don't know what to say. They don't know how to treat it. Friends. I've had
Mhm.
we'll just you see that happen. It's it's a it's something that happens because it's not understood. And then you take it to the whole other level of the American healthcare system, where a lot of the things aren't covered by the insurance companies if people are lucky enough to have insurance. I
Yes.
had a very interesting conversation. I am blessed enough to maintain my job while I'm on a leave of absence right now, dealing with a medical issue, and had a moment where clarity, where was able to take the time and speak to my insurance company as to why they were denying one of my procedures that was necessary to keep my CRPS from
Progressing.
continuing to progress.
Yeah.
It has now progressed, and they did deny it. We did go ahead and pay out of pocket, but I was lucky enough that I had the funds to do that.
Yeah.
Most of this country does not have the funds to do that.
No.
And most
And
of this country does not have the means to call and make the
spend
complaint
hours
and
on the
expend
phone with your
hours on the
phone.
phone.
You're totally right. And that's something I heard a lot about growing up, you know. I I hear mom and dad talking about the insurance and how on earth are we going to pay for this, and not to mention the inaffordability of these treatments, but the level of ineffectivity. Like they are so often unreliable, and it so often gets worse before it gets better.
Oh, absolutely.
And
You must jump through 3 hoops that don't work in order to get to the fourth hoop that
that's on
will
fire.
work, but it's on fire. And at that point, you must pay out of pocket,
Yeah,
because we don't think that it's medically qualified for you to have it, because we don't understand what these 4 letters stand for.
right. And we're gonna fight you about what they stand for, even though you know what it means. So
Yes.
I think the American healthcare system is a whole, what would, for
Kerfuffle.
want for want of a better word, a kerfuffle. Thank you.
Yeah.
Um, and so through your, how long have you had CRPS now? Since you were 10 and you're now
17
27.
years. No, 27 years. No, I'm 37.
You're 37. So 27 years.
27 years.
So you've dealt with I mean, from the philosophical understanding of this condition, where it's like, it's literally nicknamed the suicide disease. Like at a certain point,
Yes.
it's like, come on, we need some advocacy here.
Yes.
So what complexities and no pun intended of recovery with CRPS and trying to balance being independent, like going to college, trying to get a job, you want all of these things, but you also want to be some resemblance of, okay, you want to, um, you don't want to fake it, but you want to be able to at least be
Um,
that.
as I've gotten older and I'm started to mine through the BS,
Okay.
you can read as many self-help books as you want.
Hmm.
There's some great points in some of them, but and there's some wonderful inspirational quotes out there.
Yeah.
But if you're not going to be able to laugh at the stupid stuff that's going to happen, and there's some stupid, gross stuff that happens as this disease goes on,
Yeah.
trust me, your digestive system starts to go. Your like stuff breaks down.
Out of
Um,
nowhere, you're diagnosed with another new condition, and it's like,
yeah,
where did that come
exactly.
from?
Find humor hold on to your humor and try to give yourself some grace every day.
Okay.
Because if you don't, you get things start to just make you angry, and
Yeah.
that's no place to live, because anger and frustration just lead to more pain, and the last thing we all want is more pain.
Right. A place of rumination is no good.
No.
And you're totally right. Things in this disease get ugly. Like we were talking about the American healthcare system. I'm just reminded of a doctor who prescribed me ketamine infusions. And then we come to find he had been indicted for fentanyl prescription. And he later on, we go to get our COVID shots, and he's the one taking tickets at the gate. And I don't know if
Yeah.
that would be, you know,
I am currently living in Florida, but
yeah,
my doctors that I've always had are in Colorado. I have been spending the past few months in Colorado, living there to get treatment, because the doctors that I had been seeing here,
yep,
there are some good ones. I was not able to get into them for so long. And the other ones that were willing to see me, a few of them were a little too keen on making me an oddity.
an
And
oddity.
yes, one has claimed to have started his own museum.
What on earth? And he's a doctor.
Thank you.
What is going on there?
Um, he there's also, like, there was no cleanliness. It was
It
so
sounds
just
kind of like
I
a
would just
roadside
caution
care.
everybody to please, in today's day and age, we are all searching for help and hope, but
Yes.
please vet
Well,
your people.
here is something I found very promising in that aspect, right? Is not in your case specifically, unfortunately. However, there are doctors that, due to the frustration and the horrors of dealing with the medical system, they have come out and become specialists specifically in CRPS. Dr. Chase
Yes, they have.
Teagarden switched his entire game plan from dentistry to physical therapy, and helps children and adults with, I believe it's window pane recovery. And he teaches them, I believe it's through means of like CBT and
Hmm.
physical therapy. So, and then also Dr. Tracy Patterson, who is in Idaho, she also has CRPS. And not only did she get a spinal stimulator, not only did she get stem cell treatments in Germany, she tried everything, right? And so you know what she's doing works because she's suffered just like you. It does create this burning, like, where was that treatment when I needed it, right?
Exactly.
When she needed it, when he needed it. It's mind blowing. And so I'm really thankful that they're there doing that job these days, because I have something to say now. Like they it's kind of like Nazir Jones. It's somebody to look up to.
Exactly.
So your hobby list includes soccer, skiing, fly fishing, hiking with your dog, college basketball, curating cocktails. You said you were a bartender, and exploring in general. So you've got some things on there that are like, they're kind of relaxing, like hiking and fly
Hmm.
fishing, and then you've got more serious ones like skiing and soccer. Those
Yeah,
are like,
I'm an
and college
adrenaline
basketball.
junkie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I heard that today from another CRPS warrior. That's so funny. Um, so what, where do you find balance through your self care and through these extraneous sometimes hobbies?
That is, I would say, an everyday struggle,
Yeah,
finding balance, not overdoing it, especially at work for
yeah,
me. Um, Hobbies for me is about enjoyment. If I'm enjoying myself and I'm enjoying the moment, I'll know, like, oh, I can't enjoy too much today because then I'll not be able to enjoy tomorrow.
that's
But
right.
what gets me is work.
Okay,
I can't say no at work,
that's what
and
I was
I
gonna
will.
say. Yeah, it's like you're a workhorse all of a sudden.
Yeah,
And then the
and
next day you're like, wait, I forgot. I'm also a pony, like a show
yeah,
pony.
and that's where I've had to switch from being working long hours. I
Okay.
went from doing cocktail competitions, being a bar manager, working 14,
Whoa.
16 hours,
Hmm.
to now I can't sometimes open a bottle
Yeah.
with my hands, or can't stand on my legs for very long. So
Yeah. And so I want to go back to, there's like not just a lurking fear that this is genetic, but like the genes have been sequenced and it's clear that there's like a component that is genetic in a lot of people. And
mhm.
so and while that sometimes lurks beneath the surface, there's other things like I've got dysautonomia personally. And so this umbrella condition, which houses things like postural orthopedic tachycardia syndrome, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, CRPS, right? And so POTS, I already mentioned that one, right? And it's just the storm of like of
Ehlers-Danlos.
Ehlers-Danlos. And so that's what I want to ask, right? Is what is the um what does the
I
road look like for you other than
um
CRPS?
so I think that's an interesting subject to talk about because I think
Okay.
if I were to ask my sister, the medical person, every single time I open up an Instagram, any news source, anything, we are fed information based on what we read now.
Yeah.
So if I were to open up anything, even just like Apple News, it was going to feed me something about some medical condition at this point.
Mhm.
I, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to find some symptom that I can have in that medical condition.
Mhm.
Does it mean I have that medical condition? No. But
But
could I potentially find a link between half of the things I have and 6 other things that I don't have that could have? Yes.
yeah.
Um, is there a direct connection between between like the Ehlers-Danlos, the gastroparesis, the CRPS, the fibromyalgia, the IBS, the restless leg, the migraines, and all? Yeah, that's all
It's
interrelated.
all interrelated, but it's all that
Yeah,
negative feedback loop. It's that
exactly.
I feel you.
Where it comes into play is then, is that also connected with the long COVID? Is that also the reason I had COVID 6 times? Is that
Well,
also the
I would
reason?
say CRPS has been confirmed to be an autoimmune, I'm sure you know.
Exactly.
Right, you can read as many medical journals as you want. It still doesn't make it any like yeah, it's just kind of yeah.
So I mean, I always err on the side of caution and over inform my doctors when
Okay.
I have a new present case of something.
Yeah.
Because there's always a chance of a link. Um, and so I always present that because to let them know that this is what I have. Just to let them know that there could be a flare up or there could be something interconnected. Like I had shoulder surgery this July, hence
Yeah.
why I'm now currently in constant pain.
Right. And so surgery is such a I really hate surgery with CRPS, especially if
Yeah.
you have EDS.
Yep.
My mom has EDS and has had multiple surgeries. The healing from it is gruesome, to say the
Yeah.
least. And
Yeah.
she deals still with terrible pain. And
Yeah.
so why did you get shoulder surgery? And yeah,
I mean, I've actually done really well from a lot of different surgeries.
okay.
And I think that's where it's hard to generalize.
Hmm.
But I will say, and I agree with you, when you're prone to EDS and your sockets and your joints are already loose
So
and
loose.
not wanting to stay in place, you're already prone to problems.
Yeah.
When they're in place for so long with the CRPS, you're already fighting that.
Okay.
Then when you start moving it again, you have the EDS fighting against that.
Hmm.
Then you have the pain issues. It's just everything like fighting against each other. Nothing's working together in a chain.
Right. It's like working in
And
anti-homeostasis.
exactly. Um, I don't know if this had any impact or not, but I also had platelet therapy and
Interesting.
stem cell. And I didn't have that in any of my other surgeries, and I had no problems in any of my other surgeries. I had that in this surgery, and I had a CRPS freak out.
Freak out. Did you also, so ketamine has been used as like a very prevalent anesthetic for me in my, not just when they knock me out for whatever they're doing, but for surgeries.
Yes, that was used
Oh,
in my. I had propofol and ketamine.
okay. And so it's not like you didn't do everything you could have with what you had. You did everything.
Correct. Correct.
Oh, man. And so how have you adjusted the game plan? And that's my big question.
Trying to stay optimistic. I did not see this coming. So I am currently trying to see if we can reset my system. I've had multiple ganglion or stellate ganglion blocks. Those have
Okay.
not been successful. Um, Medications have not been successful. Ketamine therapy is an option. However, it is a long-term, like it takes a while.
Right.
And I don't know how long I can be off of work, to be honest. But I'm not in a state of working right now. So we're looking at potentially looking at remote work at the moment. So
Okay. Well, and it's very good that your workplace is working with you.
they're
Like
not
you talked
that
about
I will
earlier.
say the corporate sector is being very, very good. It's the
Okay.
local sectors that don't understand.
Yeah. They're like, where did you come from?
Yes, but that's Florida for you sometimes.
Yes, it is. I lived in Florida after, so I went to Nebraska Wesleyan, and
Oh, I know somebody who went to Nebraska Wesleyan.
are you serious?
Baseball, played baseball.
I almost played baseball there. I did.
Yeah.
I played baseball for their fall league team. Our orange and or no, our black and gold won the World Series.
Okay, there you go.
Yep. That is kind of
Yeah, he was
awesome.
a catcher there.
Are you serious? What's his name?
Well, he went for a season, then he went to CU, but Garrett Duman,
Garrett Duman. Maybe he's like famous at NWU. I don't know.
probably not.
Um, so I took a medical leave after like 6 months. And so I went from experiencing this joy of having a full ride scholarship to being back in the hospital.
Yep.
And I went out in Florida though, and I was in Pompano. And
Okay.
so at least it was, kind of beautiful, serene.
Yeah,
Um,
that's one thing it brings.
yes. And also great weather. What I did notice was
Yes.
my perception of having all this like humidity around me. It was like it was weird. It was not painful, but like I could feel my skin. And
Hmm.
that didn't set the alarm system off, but it was enough for me to be a little bit like weird. That
Yeah,
feels
I
weird.
thought the pain would be less here, and it's definitely not.
No. And
Yeah.
and so I don't know what that comes from exactly, but like uh,
I don't know if it's the pressure changes because it's like the stormiest state. So
oh, that might be what it
I
is.
I don't know what it is, but like the summers here are so brutal because the storm pressures are just
Dude,
constantly shifting. Oh my gosh, it is nightmarish.
yeah, I've experienced a little bit of that. Like the parking lot, 3 inches of rain, and then it's
Yeah,
gone.
yeah, yeah,
Um, I want to talk a little bit about like what you're up to while you're on leave.
yeah.
Um, Obviously you can't go cast a fly fishing rod, right? But you
No,
said you're trying to stay positive, and
yes,
that is super important.
yes. I am very blessed to have a huge support system, and I have my whole life.
Okay.
Um, I have a very large family.
Yep.
Uh, None of them live with me here currently.
Wow.
Um,
That's a
I
lie.
have,
Rudy lives with you.
well, that's true. Rudy lives with me. Yeah,
Yeah.
lives with me. And uh, um, I have a partner that lives with me.
Awesome.
Not really together right now, but very supportive. And uh, but my family will check in on me every morning, midday, evening, and I'm talking cousins, uncles, aunts.
Yeah. I've experienced that.
It's
Yeah.
it's pretty amazing.
How do you feel about, I guess, where you're at in how independent you are, and how important is it to stay connected? Not just with
Uh
people with CRPS, but you know, not
oh,
just Rudy.
I'm, I'd say I do pretty much. I mean, I can't right now. I don't feel safe enough to drive my car just because like my sensations in my right foot. Like I can drive a little bit, but I don't like can't drive like more than like 5 miles. Um, right now, currently, that's just been like in the last couple days.
So you're honest with it. You're
Yeah,
respectful of your own boundaries.
yeah, I'm respectful of my own boundaries, but I mean, I still cook for myself every day. I clean, I walk Rudy, I still try to get out of the house to do something at least once a week. Force myself to do that. I do physical therapy every day. Um, I watch the news every day. I'm on the phone with people every day. I'm talk to people in Spain a couple times a week, and you, but also my friend Araceli. um, I I have friends and family all over the country that I talk to. I think it's really important to stay connected because if you are so centered about what's happening around you, which is important, but that can't be everything.
Hmm.
It it's going to dilute the not only your vision of the world, but it's going to dilute the importance of like what needs to get done and what you're doing. And like you you yourself have a value, but you need to remember that value. Like you need to see what the values of others too. Because if you see the value in others, it's gonna make you more valuable.
So it's a power to overcome.
Exactly.
You get some hope. You get some. Um, it opens up your worldview a little bit to make it more worthwhile to attack.
Yes, and I
Yeah.
know it's not the today's world is not exactly the most positive, and there's some atrocious things happening.
You said I watch the news every day. I'm like, whoa,
Yeah,
knock me out.
yeah, but but there's still some amazing things happening. I mean, like just was it yesterday? The Jamaican bobsled team just qualified.
Right?
Like that's huge. That's crazy. Like Cool Runnings is really happening.
Yeah.
So like there's little hopes for everything.
So, um, so how, let me see. I wonder what other questions I can fit in the last 5 minutes. Um, how did you
And don't
advocate
be a
for yourself?
perfectionist. I think most of us are
Yeah.
perfectionists. I swear to
Yeah.
God, most of us are perfection. I
That's the
all
theory.
my doctors say most of us are perfectionists. It doesn't. I say this to myself all the time. It doesn't have to be perfect. I always try to make it perfect, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah. With the EDS, that's difficult because it'll be like my right ankle will crack and then I'll get up and it'll be like my left hip will crack. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
hold on.
Yeah. Make it even.
And perfectionism is a big deal. Are you a perfectionist?
Yes.
Yeah. And it's
I
always been
try
that way?
not to be, but I yeah.
Okay. It's as long as you can keep yourself from working too hard, I think it's okay. Um, but that definitely becomes an issue where it's like, no, that's not right. It's time to do it. Let's go do this. My mom is very much that way, and so is my Bopaw's side of the family. He was an entrepreneur,
Mhm.
a very successful serial entrepreneur, and so he would start a business, and then he would be like, "Wait, I want to do something else," and then he'd start a different business. So not necessarily
Yep.
perfectionist, more of that ADHD.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, perfectionism is heavy, I feel like, especially we're kids who've had this disease. You've had it 27 years. I've had it for 12. And so to think about like the fact that uh I used to like handle this in such a different way because I was so upset with how my body had been taken over, right?
Yep.
And that separation, I think it felt like imposter syndrome, maybe. I'm not sure
Yeah,
exactly.
absolutely.
Yeah,
No, it really does because you're like trying to like mask for who you really are.
yeah. So, and then you have to find a balance between, you know, advocacy and
Hmm.
and self-care. Um,
Yeah, it's all just waiting the line.
yeah. So do you find that CBT, not just CBT, but do you find that CBT has helped you find that like that sense of self again, even I guess despite having CRPS as a diagnosis?
I would say that and writing. I write a lot.
You write a lot?
Yeah.
What kind of writing? Like not penny book or what is it? The penny journal? Or
No,
like whatever
I
comes to mind.
kind of just like short, small essays,
Okay, cool.
like like sardonic, sarcastic, small essays about pain
Yeah,
and about how your day is going. Like,
that's a good
bleep,
description.
bleep, bleep.
I can only imagine. You should start publishing those.
Yeah.
And so is that one of the ways that you've kind of uh, through the years like dealt with this? You know, writing is a big piece of it.
Yeah. Writing, staying active, that family, laughing when you can, and highly recommend animals.
Animals. Yeah, me too.
Mhm.
I have to say that's one thing I talked with another guest about is the importance of connecting with animals is
Yeah.
so crazy. Like they take such a big uh, weight off of the shoulders of the diagnosed, right? I've had Ziggy for 10 of my 12 years, and he's like probably the most helpful thing I can imagine. Um, he kept me feeling human.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it gives you like a routine and something else to think about and
Mhm.
to distract you. It's the purest form of distraction.
Purest form of distraction. And it's funny because while I was doing CBT at a pain psych, my first CBT ever, they were like, "You need a distraction." Mm, purest form of
There you go.
distraction. And I want to go a little deeper on before we go. Like, do you find anything to be highly like? Well, does anything cause you to be reactive? Like people with mast cell activation syndrome, a certain smell will hit them and they'll flare up.
Yes.
Um, how do
Um,
you experience CRPS?
uh, really loud noises, like really, really, really loud, sudden noises.
Um,
Um, if I jump and it like gets me to jump,
uh, that electric
uh,
like whoa,
I get an electric stimulus
yes,
somehow in my body that will not go away for like a minute to 2 minutes.
wow, that's
And I don't
ooh,
know if it's because I have an electric stimulator in my body.
right.
They've checked it out, everything's good, but like
Okay.
it it's just weird.
I will say
Um,
I've
I'm
experienced back pains for a long time, and I have a theory that's about the sodium channels and salt.
maybe, maybe. I'm really, really sensitive to heat.
Sensitive to heat, so like more heat is bad.
Yeah. So like
Wow.
if I'm out in a really hot day, I can't be outside in the sun for a really long time. Like you will see my cheetah spots come out.
Yeah.
Um, I will start feeling faint, like my pain will get really bad. Like I'll just tense up
You know,
my eyes.
I said wow, like it's crazy, but one of the first girls I ever met. So I was an 11-year-old boy at the Cleveland Clinic, and this girl named Olivia took me under her wing. Um, and it was so weird because I needed heat packs and she needed ice packs.
Hmm.
And to this day, it's cold Madrid and my hands are purple.
Yeah.
Right? I'm mottled all over.
Oh, my hands will always be purple, but and my fingers, you'll think I have Raynaud's, but sometimes, but I'll be like out there, like, it's too hot.
Yeah, very interesting. And I guess that's just the truth about it. Like we were like I was saying with the CRPS group, like not everybody can be fixed with the same thing, the
No,
same
no, no.
advice.
Yeah, we're all different.
Yeah. Is there anything you can think of? Like I actually would like to ask this really quick. I read college basketball. Is that
Mhm.
something you played or is that something you enjoy watching?
No, so since when I started going to hospitals at a very young age,
Uh,
we did not always have things to watch on TV.
okay.
So, and I've been a sports fan my entire life, but sports were one of the things I could always watch 24/7.
So you're a major fan, not just a player.
No, major fan. Like, so I
Wow.
would watch Sports Center and ESPN 24/7 in the hospital.
That's
And
awesome.
so when I was growing up, my dad went to Duke and played soccer and lacrosse there.
Sweet.
So my first time
My
going to
mom went to do.
Cameron, Oh, really?
Yes, she did. I think
I
she
wonder
did
if they know
her,
each other, if they both lived in Denver and both went to Duke.
maybe.
That's
That'd
really
be
funny.
pretty funny.
Um, but so first went to Cameron when I was an infant,
Okay.
and it's been going back ever since. But after I started getting sick, we started going and watching games like as a family, and then
Okay.
we started going to my sister and my dad and I started going to Final Fours
Like in
and
person?
in person after I got out of the hospital the
Ooh.
first time.
Whoa.
So then when we started doing that as a father daughter trip,
Okay.
and so I've been now to see Duke 4 of the 5 times, or sorry, 3 of the 5 times they
Yeah.
won a national championship.
Oh. Oh my gosh, they ought to give you a ring. That's wild.
Yeah.
So, uh, other than
And
college
we've been 2 other
basketball,
times too.
yeah, that is absolutely like when Duke isn't even playing.
Yeah. And then we've been to first round, second rounds, like 3 times, Sweet 16.
Yeah,
Been to a bunch of them. So we just love watching basketball.
got it. I actually, funny enough, I played at a USCAA school in America last
Oh,
year, which is like, you know what that is?
yeah.
Okay, so I played my sport is baseball, right?
Uh-huh.
I played baseball for a few weeks out here in Spain and um but back in America I played soccer and basketball
Hmm.
because I realized like I just I couldn't quite handle the pressure I'd put on myself over baseball anymore.
Yeah.
But soccer was so much fun. Like just
Hmm.
chasing it was kind of I was very novice at it, but it was like
Yeah.
magnet ball when you're a kid and everybody's just chasing the ball.
Bunch
It was
ball. Yeah.
Yep. And then basketball, I am also like kind of just the big guy who stands in the way. But there was one time I got a steal off of our 7-footer and went and dunked the ball. That felt like my Final Four moment right there. Like
Yeah, absolutely. That's one shining moment. You can
it
hear
was
that
awesome.
song playing in the background.
Yeah, I went up. I was like, oh my gosh, the lights are shining. Yeah,
Wow, that's amazing.
it was cool.
Yeah.
What questions, or what haven't I asked you that I probably should have?
Uh-huh. Uh, I would say doctors are going to ask really weird questions.
Okay.
I've unfortunately been asked some very hurtful, scary questions about my family,
Right.
and
And now, is this about abuse
yeah.
specifically? And so this is a very prevalent problem in the community.
Hmm.
I personally am talking about Maya Kowalski's case, of course.
Yep.
And so, how did you handle it when you were asked those questions? The way my family personally handled it was, I was having bruises on my legs and I had all of these issues that were kind of like CPS-y.
Hmm.
And it got to a point where I was at the ER once a week, and it became to be like, we literally cannot go to the ER this often. We're going to get in trouble for trying to help you.
Yeah. Um, I don't exactly know how this doctor jumped to what he jumped to.
Okay.
I could see there being,
Mm.
I understand that the bruises, I do have bruises all the time.
Healing family.
We all do. Yeah.
Yeah.
He not only took it to the point where he believed that there was abuse, he believed that there was sexual abuse in my home and continued to berate me while I was in a psychological exam
Oh, I'm so
while I was
sorry.
10 years old, um, berating me, telling me that I was being sexually abused by my parents. Well, one parent, and did not want to take no for an answer. Continued then to try to make this case. And thank goodness my family stuck together and were able to maintain that this did not happen.
Right, withstand this
Yeah.
this conclusion that he had decided to
And we were very
create.
grateful in the fact that unlike in poor Maya's family's case, our doctor did believe us in the long run.
Yeah.
But
And God rest his soul.
yes, absolutely.
It is such a weird, um, I guess maybe it's like they don't understand what's happening, and so they have to explain it to themselves, but to perpetuate that onto a 10-year-old is disgusting.
I wish I could caution
Not disgusting, it's wrong.
this those in the psychological community that
Yeah.
if you're going to be taking any sort of progression towards those statements, please use kind hands and understand where these families are coming from, because you're creating a monstrous problem in the future potentially.
These parents cannot even hug their children.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you not only are creating potential physical harm where they feel awkward then hugging their families, but then you are also causing psychological harm in the future to these children.
Yeah. And I think all I would want as a patient is to feel safe going to the hospital. And the last thing
Exactly.
I felt was safe going to the hospital.
Yes.
Not to mention now. And
Yes.
thank you for bringing that up. That's another really big thing. And especially because women are the prevalent majority of CRPS havers, right?
Yes.
That people with CRPS are statistically more women. And I appreciate you for saying that.
Yes. And I will tell you, as a survivor of sexual abuse in the past, it is added complexity to me discussing my abuse in therapy because of the issues discussing sexual abuse earlier in my childhood.
Oh. So I'm sorry, what you're saying is the a wide range of trauma that you've experienced has become a bit of like a convoluted a convoluted mess. We've got this
basically the way that therapist handled things when I was younger has made it harder for me to handle my actual abuse.
Right. The actual issue, like the
actual issue that I had in college.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very well put. Thank you.
Yeah.
Is there
And unfortunately, I think that could happen to more women.
Yeah, I think it does unfortunately happen to women at a very consistent rate. I think therapy can sometimes be overcooked, right? And that can lead to misunderstandings or assumptions.
It has to be the right fit.
Yes, it does. And I want to ask, is there anything you want to tell those living with CRPS, children's parents who are listening with their kids? What can you say about?
It can get better. Don't give yourself a timeline as hard as it is to. I know you want one. There unfortunately is not one that we have for all of us. Each of ours is different. Be grateful for the days we all get to spend together, because those are the moments that make each of our days better.
That's right.
And advocate for you and your loved ones.
And what about those days we get to spend together? What about when it does get hard? What about when the pain gets thick?
When it gets hard, give yourself and give others grace, because you may not be in the best mood. You may not be ready to do things, but there's still things you can find to do. You could play a game of cards. You could watch a movie and somebody. You don't have to isolate. Isolation is what kills us all in this disease.
Right. And if you can't find somebody who is willing to spend the time to sit down and compromise, right? There's always somebody else who
Yeah.
will to be.
Exactly.
You can always find a different. You can always find your person.
Absolutely.
I want to thank you. You have brought so much wisdom, so much of your experience. You brought your youth, and I just want to say thank you. Your energy is
Absolutely.
so amazing.
Thank you. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
I
Thank you
really
for joining me.
yes, it's been amazing, and thank you, Rudy, too. I hope you
You
guys
too.
have
Thank you.
a wonderful day and a good walk later.
Thank you.
Of
Have a
course.
wonderful evening.
Thank you, and feel free to message me anytime.
Okay.
Right on. Okay.
All right.
Bye,
Thanks.
Alex.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Good luck.